Giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of you left out there. Shalom to you all. Anyway, I'm going to title this video, The Whole World is Waking Up to the Fact that You Are the Ease. So, and also, proof this place will be taken out by fire. The old world was taken out by water, pursuant to Peter in 2 Peter chapter 3. But this world will be taken out by fire. And what I mean by this world is this system, NATO, the EU, which consists of the US and Canada. The US and Canada are NATO nations, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, but the NATO nations will not be set on fire, utterly destroyed by fire. Neither will the EU nations. There will be some casualties. So when you have people, guys that claim that their prophets say Rome is going to be wiped off the map, or Germany is going to be utterly destroyed, that's not going to happen. There will be damage around the world from the great earthquake, from the missiles, but the whole world will not be destroyed. It says in Ecclesiastes that this world will be intact. One generation shall come. I'm merely paraphrasing. I'm not going to go to it. But the earth will abide forever. Merely paraphrasing. So, like I said, when you have individuals in Israel that among the Israelites, Hebrew Israelites, the one West is mainly, when they say this whole system is going to be destroyed by fire. No, Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed by fire. Germany is not Babylon. France is not Babylon. None of these EU nations and NATO nations are the woman. The woman sits upon the scarlet-colored beast. The scarlet-colored beast will not be destroyed by fire. It's the woman that will be burnt by fire. So stop teaching that nonsense. These EU nations and these NATO nations, they're going to see the destruction of Babylon from afar, from their countries. When you go to Revelation chapter 18, matter of fact, I'm going to go to that, but let me just say that on this video, right? This is the saints of the Most High. This guy is not could be from Nigeria or Africa or whatever. He has an accent, but so the name of the video is Khazars Rush to Africa to Corrupt the Black Jews, waking up to their Hebrew heritage. First of all, we don't use the word black Jews, but he does mention the ease. You know, he says Khazars, but he calls them ease. Where do you think he got that from? Because back in the day, like I said, my parents, we were raised up in a household knowing that we were Israelites, but I was a kid, they didn't put a lot of pressure on me, but they told me that, you're an Israelite. So I've been knew about Israel since from the 60s and 70s. But back then, even in the 80s, back then, those different Hebrew Israelite groups, they used to refer to as to the so-called Europeans, so-called white people, as Sons of Japhet. That was old school. Sons of Japhet. Yeah, they're the Sons of Japhet. Yeah. So when I woke up to the truth, and when I came to the school, One West, 125th Street, when I heard it before. I heard it in the streets about who the Edomites are, and I said, yep. I said the Edomites are not the Sons of Japhet. But this individual right here refers to them as Edomites. Where do you think he got that from? He got that from one of the One West camps. See, the focus of these Christians, like that demon, that fat demon, big head demon, Vocab Malone, his thing is on the One Westers. His thing is not on these other so-called black Hebrew Israelite groups. His focus is on the One Westers. On the IUICs, the Sakaris, the GMSs, the ISUPKs. Then you got some other groups out there as well that are not original members of the, One West, but they watch us on YouTube. A lot of these groups out there that if we never went on YouTube, them guys would never go on YouTube saying that they're Israelites. Which means they don't have 100% truth. But like I said, I only watched about this much of the video. And he's saying that these people are, wait a minute. Get it right there. These people are corrupting Africans, and they're nervous. And you know what? These people, the Orthodox, I'll call them, Hasidim, which is goes back. They say that they descend from the Hasmonean dynasty. Famous individual was Judas Maccabeus. Anyway, the Orthodox of these people, they don't agree with the premier or the president of the state of the 48ers. As a matter of fact, they're dead set against the leadership, the government of the 48ers. They're saying that the Lord's not dealing with you, but they're not going to call him, anti-Sem. What do you call it? Sem. I say Sem instead of Shem. They say Sem. They will not say Shem, Shemite, Shemitic. That's the word that they came up with, was they took out the H. It's S-H-E-M or X. Actually, it's S-H-A-M, Shem. So you can be Semitic. You can be a Sem. We ain't got nothing against you, Sem. You can be a Sem. You can be a J. But we know who you really are. You're Edomites. Some of you are actually Israelites, though. See, we got to say that too, because we've been scattered around the whole planet Earth. But I'll get a chance. When I get a chance, I'll watch this video. But the first thing he mentioned was the E's, and how they're losing their religion, so to speak. That too many people are waking up to this. That's why you got Vocab. He goes out to England. He said they're all over the place. They're even in France. And he says to you Christians, community, what are you going to do about it? Yeah, this one guy, what video? Jake, I believe it was Tony Evans. This was a video that I was checking out last night by the Deacon Hakar. And what did this guy say? He said a lot of things, but he said one thing that stuck. Oh, he said that pretty much the Israelites, you know, taking over. And then he said that Christians got to do their job. Back in the day, we was out there grinding. He didn't use that word grinding, but he said we're too comfortable, and we got to get back out there. Because I remember, you had a lot of these Christians. They would actually be on the street corners teaching. You know, you still got that, like in the Bronx. You have like some Ephraimite with his wife on the street corner teaching, and they got from doing that. So now you got these Christians trying to do what we do because they're desperate now. But you're losing. You're losing a race. This race. You're losing miserably, and that includes you, Vocab Malone. The last video that you did on us before you went to Europe, you had a handful of 3 or 4 comments. 3 or 4 comments that said, thank you, Vocab Malone, for leading me to the truth, for, informing me that I'm an Israelite. So it was your videos. So guess what? You're really helping them. You're really helping them out. You're helping us. You're not hurting us. You're helping us. All publicity is good publicity. When you say something negative, when Floyd Mayweather, when he wanted to be the top pay-per-view guy, he had to defeat Oscar De La Hoya. So he said they had the 24/7 series. He said I'll be the bad guy. So he took the role of being the bad guy, and De La Hoya being the good guy. So that's what's meant by all publicity is good publicity, whether it be bad or good, because it makes you either famous or infamous. So, to some people we're infamous. And we're famous in a negative light. Anyway, I put a list together, and I'm definitely not gonna hit every precept. Excuse me. Anyway, and I entitled this list Flame and Fire, because the first world went out by water. Let me see if I got that on the list. 2 Peter 3. If it's not there, I'll go to it. Okay, yeah. 2 Peter 3, verse 6 to 7. And I'm going to jump down to 10. So the Apostle Peter saw this place being destroyed. The Apostle Paul saw this place being destroyed. Yahushua, he likened this place to Gehenna, or the valley of Hinnom. So let me give you some precepts. Okay, I don't want this. Okay, let me get my bearings straight. I'm going to give you a couple of precepts from this list. Whereby the world that then was being overflowed with water, that's during the time of Noah, perished, but the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. It says the heaven and the earth, which are now by the same word are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment. So you got people that say the whole earth is like vocab, because he doesn't understand prophecies. He'll say that the whole, the Babylon is a system, and it's the whole planet and the whole earth is going to blow up like the Death Star in the movie. What's the movie? Star Wars. That's not going to happen. You don't know the script. You don't know the prophecies. You're clueless when it comes to the prophecies. That's why this was about maybe 3, 4, maybe even 5 years ago. You were going back and forth with, and I believe it was live. You had a smoke room session, and I believe it was, I know it was Hakar. It was either Hakar by himself or Hakar and Al-Azhar. You guys are going back and forth. Then they started going into prophetic. I forget exactly where they went to in the scriptures. I believe they went to Revelation, somewhere in Revelation. Said, what does that mean? And you started stuttering because you don't know the scriptures. You don't know the scriptures. Well, you don't know the prophecies. It says, reserved unto fire. The place that's going to be set on fire is Babylon the Great and the land of Israel. But the land of Israel is going to be rebuilt. But Babylon will never be rebuilt. It's going to become the biggest desert on the planet. A new heaven and a new earth. The scriptures say, wherein dwelleth righteousness. And our kingdom is going to be a righteous kingdom, not like this kingdom. This is a wicked kingdom. The women, our women, the Israelite women, they're for the most part completely out of order. You deal with a woman out here, she been ran through. I always refer to Amos 7 verse 17. I mean, you can just do a whole subject on Amos 7 verse 17. And the reason why Babylon, or that the woman that sitteth upon the scarlet-colored beast, she's going to be burnt because she's a harlot. And how do you get rid of harlots? You burn them. If you have an Israelite man, actually a priest, but it applies to any Israelite men because they're all going to be priests. If you have a daughter that plays a harlot, you don't stone her to death. You don't stone her with stones. You burn her with fire. That's a hell of a way to go. he set up his daughter-in-law to get with two of his sons, and they both, you know, was taken out. One was taken out because of the other brother, going to that whole story, dying. So the other brother was supposed to lay with, what was her name? Tamar? I'm not going to go to it. But, and there was another brother, but she knew that she was going to get supplanted by Judah. And so she played the harlot. And then he laid with the woman and got her pregnant. And he went around looking for that harlot. And he asked people, he said, "Where's that harlot?" Because back there, you wasn't ashamed to get with a harlot. You didn't sneak around and get a harlot. You just got a harlot. Oh, there goes where their harlots are. Let me go get with this woman. So you said there was a harlot around here that I got with. You seen her? Well, she wasn't a harlot. She played the harlot that one time to supplant you. And what did he say? He said burn her. Let me see if I can find it. It's in Genesis. The word burnt or burn should be in there. Burn. Let me put in the word burn. I'll try the word burned and I'll try the word burnt. I think he actually says, then burn her with fire. Okay, let me try it. Let me try this. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? Let me do it this way. Judah said to burn Tamar with fire. Why did Judah want to burn Tamar? The scripture should come up. Let me do this. Okay, I believe it's Genesis 38:24. Let me just check that. Genesis 38:24. Okay, I'll read the verse. It says, "And it came to pass about the 3 months after that it was told Judah, saying, Tamar, thy daughter, father-in-law, have played the harlot, and also, and what she did was and playing the harlot, it was a righteous act because he supplanted her, so she had to supplant him. Behold, she is with child by whoredom. And Judah said, bring her forth and let her be burnt. I knew the word burnt was in there. Now the law of the priests, Levitical priests, but that applies to all Israelite men. If you have a daughter that played a harlot, if that was to happen in the kingdom, which is not going to happen, the way she's taken out is to be burnt by fire. That's why the whore that sits upon the scarlet-colored beast, which is Babylon the Great, which is the U.S., is a harlot. It says how the nations, committed fornication with her, went to bed with her, meaning made deals with her. When she was brought forth, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, by the man whose these are, am I with child? And she said, discern, I pray thee, whose are these, the signet and the bracelet and the staff. Now this is Judah. This is Judah, the head tribe. She supplanted the hell out of this brother. She got him good because he supplanted her with his sons. And she knew she wasn't going to get the son, so she said, I got to do something to get that blessing. So she got the blessing through Judah itself. Judah. She said, he said, I pray thee, whose are these? The signet. That's where you get the word signature from. In the ancient movies, they had the ring, and then they would take the ring or whatever, and they would put it in wax, and they would seal the letter and so forth. And a bracelet, and on the bracelet you had the name Yahwadah. The signet was Yahwadah, and on the staff was written Yahwadah. It says, and Yahwadah, which is Judah, acknowledged them and said, she hath been more. Ooh, she played the harlot, but she was a righteous harlot. Can you? That's oxymoronic. She was a righteous harlot, a righteous hoe. And what did Yahweh Shai say? He said the harlots are going to make it in the kingdom before y'all. He was talking to them wicked scribes and Pharisees, meaning the harlots ain't going to hell. You hear that, Bishop? It said, and Yahweh acknowledged them and said, she hath been more righteous than I, because that I gave her not to Shelah, my son. That was the youngest son. And she knew that he was going to supplant her. And he knew her again no more. Because she played the harlot one time. All she needed was one son. It says, and it came to pass in the time of her travail that behold, twins were in her womb. So you can read the rest of this. So that was a law. That was a law, a custom. Custom is another way of saying a law that became law. Being a Mo was against the law, but the law wasn't written. But it was a custom. It was an unwritten law. So anyway, I did all that to show you why this place is going to be burnt. For she shall be utterly burnt with fire. That's the she. That's the woman that sitteth upon the scarlet-colored beast. That is the United States of America. This great whore, this great harlot, that the nations go to bed with. So like I said, you Israelites out there, you can't say Germany's going to be wiped off the map. Rome is going to be completely wiped off the map. All the islands are going to be destroyed. Some of the islands are going to be destroyed. We don't know all the details, but there's going to be two major places that's going to be set on fire by the ICBM missiles and the lasers that come from the chariots driven by the angels is going to completely set this place on fire. It goes into detail in the Revelation 18. Revelation 18, that's pretty much, that just goes into how this place is going to be destroyed. It starts off the first verse or two. John on the Isle of Patmos saw the fire. Matter of fact, let me go to that. And like I said, that's how you kill a harlot. But Yahushua said the harlots will make it in the kingdom before you. Let me see if I can find that. Harlot or harlots. Let me try harlots. Let me try harlots. Woman that you got with, if she dealt with a man before that, if that man's not dead, she's a harlot, and you're technically an adulterer. So you can't get around it unless you get a virgin. Where are you going to find a virgin these days? Unless she's 11, 12 years old. Okay, let me see. Okay, here it is. So this is a topic right here. Not one harlot shall go burn in hell. I'm just looking at these. I will punish your daughters and commit whoredoms, his sons adulteries, and the sacrifice of harlots. Okay, Matthew 21 and 31. Let's see what that says. Whether them twine did the will of his father, they say unto him, the first, Yahushua saith unto them, verily I say unto you, that the publicans, which were considered wicked, the publicans were tax collecting. I'm going to prove that. And the harlots, the hoes, go into the kingdom of the Most High before you. So you're going to have hoes in the kingdom. But when they come in the kingdom, they're going to be changed. They're not going to be hoes no more. And why did he say that? Because our women are a bunch of hoes. So they're going to make it, they're going to die, and they're going to come back. And some of them are going to make it, they're going to not suffer the second death. So there ain't going to be no hoes in hell. That's what the Lord said. If you want, I can click on the red letter. Matter of fact, I'm going to do that. Now, the Lord would never say that. Okay. Okay. There it is, red letter. Whether of them twine or them two did the will of the Father. That story goes into, one man said he's going to do the will. He said, I'm not going to do the will, but he wound up doing the will of the Father. And the other one said, I'm going to do the will, but not do the will of the Father. Which one was justified? The one that said, I'm not going to do it, but did it anyway. Jonah is a perfect example of that. So this is in the red letter. It says, for John, I'm sorry. It said, verily I say unto you, that the publicans and the harlots go into the kingdom of the Most High before you. Wait a minute. Who is he talking to? But wait a minute. Let's come back. He said before you. So they're all going to make it. All Israel is going to be saved. That's a cut right there. So not one Israelite is gonna burn in hell. Esau's not gonna burn in hell. Let me come up. Let me get into the context. All right, parable of the two sons. So it says, whether them this verily I say unto you, that the publicans and the harlots go into the kingdom of the Most High before you. So there's going to be Israelites that's going to make it before other Israelites, but ultimately all Israelites are going to make it. Because let's read again. This is in the red letter. I mean, in the words of Yahweh Shai, that the publicans and the harlots go into the kingdom of the Most High before you. So all Israel shall be saved. Somebody should go to Bishop Nate and tell him, you're going off. Ain't no Israelites going to burn in hell. First of all, there's no hell. The hell is the grave, Gehenna. So let me look up this word, publicans and harlots. And I'm kind of staying on this word harlots because that's how Babylon the Great is going to go out, because it's a harlot. Let's look up the word publicans. Matthew, one of the 12 apostles, was a publican, and all publicans were hated. Yeah, they had took, this was years ago, the IRS had took $2,000 some odd dollars from my bank account, right? So I called them up, I cursed them out. I said, the fuck you doing? I cursed them out. I said, you motherfucker, you bunch of goddamn thieves, motherfucker. That's the only way a government can go is by, you gotta, every government, especially a major government, you gotta tax the people, because these politicians are dumbasses. They wear suits and they speak, they speak the king's English. But if they were so smart, they would find ways to make money for the government. They don't know how to do that. So they tax, every system taxes your people. A renter or farmer of taxes. Among the Romans, usually a man of equestrian rank. So if was this Mark? Who was the publican? Was it Mark or Matthew? I believe it was Mark. Somebody help me out, man. I'm getting old. It says, one employed by it says among the Romans, usually a man of equestrian rank. That means you up there. Like up there with the senators and the council. When you go into the ranking system of the Roman Empire, you had the emperor, right below him was the council, and below them was the Senate. Senate wasn't the highest position. You started off as a Senate, you become a council, you're over the Senate. It's saying you had Jakes that were up in the Senate. That's how they became, emperors. And remember, the first Jake emperor, and it could have been Jakes before that, I believe among the four, Galba, Otho, Galba, Vitellius, and Vespasian, I believe one of them, either Galba or Otho, was a Jake. So you had Jakes in high positions. And then eventually, they became the Caesars. That was in 96 AD by a man by the name of Nerva. He was an Israelite. He was one of the first of five of the good emperors. It was considered in history. If you go to the good emperors, the 5 good emperors, they're all Jakes. The first one was Nerva. Septimius Severus came long after. Jake then took over already. Jake then been took over, man. Esau didn't rule no more. Esau lost his kingdom. Anyway, I'm all over the place, but there's lessons within lessons. It says a tax gatherer, collector of taxes or tolls, one employed by a publican or farmer, general in the collection of taxes. The tax collectors were as a class detested. They were hated not only by the Israelites, but by other nations also, because the Romans didn't necessarily put you in slavery. They put the gladiators were slaves, but when Rome took over the known world, what they did was they didn't put the people in slavery. They just said, look, you pay a tax and you good. We ain't gonna mess with you. As long as you paying your bills, and Esau come after you unless you pay them. If you pay them, they leave you alone. No, okay, you good. It said both on account of their employment and of the harshness, greed, and deception with which they did their jobs. So a lot of them were getting money on the side. They were wicked. They were all corrupt. And it was either Mark or Matthew. It was either Mark or Matthew. Let me see if I can find it. It was Matthew. It says Philip and Bartholomew, Thomas, and Matthew the publican. So let's come back over here. So we know what a publican is now. And I bet you most Christians don't. You say, what's a publican? Which one of the 12, you believe in the 12 disciples, the apostles? Which one was a publican? First of all, they don't even know what a publican is because they don't study. Let me come back over here. Okay. Now I'm going to go to the word harlot. So our Lord said, he said that the and the harlots were going to go into the kingdom before you. Meaning, he was talking to Israelites, talking to them wicked scribes and Pharisees. He said they're going to make it before you. So what does that ultimately mean? That the scribes and the Pharisees, the wicked scribes and Pharisees, the 2/3 are going to ultimately make it. The 1/3 is going to make it in the kingdom before the 2/3. Okay, so now let's look up the word porne. A woman who sells her body for sexual uses, a prostitute, a harlot, one who yields herself to defilement for the sake of gain. And like you got the gold diggers, a gold digger is nothing but a hoe. All right? See, in the ancient world, you used to rent out hoes. Like now, you get with a hoe and that's it, you pay her some money. Back in the ancient world, a guy would say, I want you to be my wife for a month. And then they would have a deal. Hey, just like Deacon Nicard said about, I believe he said about a harlot, he said it was a business transaction. Yes, when you deal with a harlot and you get what she got, you get her cookies, and you give her money, X amount of money, you agree upon it, and that's a business transaction. So in the ancient world, in the case of Hosea, the Most High told him to get a harlot, and he had children with the harlot. So the harlot would stay with you, and she would cook, she would clean, she would keep your house clean, and then she would give you sex. And then the month would end, and sometimes guys would fall in love with their harlots. And like I said, all women are harlots. All women are harlots. Okay? Perfect example of a long-term hoe is this chick that was with Deontay Wilder. She was nothing but a hoe. All right? But she was a long-term hoe and had a baby, I believe one baby, with him, and she's on to the next. And she ain't getting with a guy that worked for UPS. She getting with a baller or another boxer or an actor. Instead of prostitute, a harlot, one who yields herself to defilement for the sake of gain. A lot of these women, and their mothers are telling them that because their mothers are hoes too. Yes, your mom is a hoe too. They'll tell her she'll be in love with one guy, but he ain't doing that good. There's no future in this guy. He gonna get, at best, he'll get a job working for Amazon, whatever, delivering packages or FedEx or something. But you got this other guy that he owns a business. He owns a car dealership. He owns a bank or whatever. You dealing with the one guy that's doing so. The mother tells her, look, you need to get with that nigga right there, the guy that owns a car dealership. Got, a check cash in place business or whatever. But she loves this guy, but she listens to her mother, and then she goes with the guy. So guess what? She's a hoe. Because she got with the guy for gain. That's what they all do. It says any woman indulging in unlawful sexual intercourse, ultimately it starts out as adultery. Scriptures say, generation of adulterers, wicked generation, a wicked adulterous generation. We all adulterers, one way or another. Whether for gain or for lust. And idolatrous of Babylon, i.e. Rome. See, they say, the blue letter says Babylon is Rome. And they're half right. It is Rome, but it's the second leg of Rome. The chief seat of idolatry. So now, let's come back over here. So let's go back to the 6th verse, whereby the world that then was being overflowed with water perish, but the heavens and earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. That's Babylon the Great, America. 10th verse. But the day of Yahweh will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away. The heavens is talking about Babylon the Great and Palestine. Shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also, and not the whole earth, and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. That's talking about Babylon the Great and the land of Palestine. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person ought you to be in all holy conversation and godliness? So you're supposed to always think about the day when this place is set on fire. Christians don't teach that. When you go to church, they don't ever teach about the end of the world, the MOTB, the latter days. The churches don't teach you about Edomites. It says looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Lord. So you're supposed to hope that the day of the Lord come, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens. Who are the we? Are the Israelites, starting with the elect. Nevertheless, we, the Israelites, according to his promise, look for new heavens and new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. And our kingdom is going to be righteous. This kingdom is totally wicked. It says, wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, be diligent. So you guys that fell off, you went back into the world, You're not diligent. You're not talking about and you hope this world goes forever. You hope you get old and die. Because you know what's going to happen when this world, we're looking forward to this bitch going down. You ain't. That ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless. Any of you that turned your back upon on the plow and went back into the world, you are spotted up. And the blame is on you. So y'all better leave the country or something. So Peter saw that this place was going to go out by fire. So let me give you a couple more precepts, and then I'm going to close up. I may try to hit some of these precepts at the camp today. Whose fan is in his hand, and he will thoroughly purge his floor, and will gather the wheat into his garner. But the chaff he will burn with fire unquenchable. Now that makes me think about Matthew chapter 13, 38. Matter of fact, that should be on the list. Let me see if that's on the list. Okay, I don't see it on the list here, but let's go to it. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, which are the Israelites. Ultimately, all Israelites are going into the kingdom. I just read the scriptures. I said the publicans and the harlots shall make it in the kingdom of the Most High before you do. The wicked scribes and Pharisees. So wicked scribes and Pharisees are going in the kingdom too. But you're going in behind the elect. The elect is going to go in, and then you're going to have the harlots and the publicans attack the wicked tax collectors. Then you're going to have the scribes and the wicked scribes and Pharisees. And not all Pharisees were wicked. Not all scribes. Scribes are guys are writers. It says, you even had priests following the disciples, the apostles. That's in Acts chapter 6. It said the field is the world. Right, the whole field. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, which are the Israelites. But the tares are the children of the wicked one. Like Vocab Malone, he's a tare. Because he compares for, one of the Latin tribes. And he's a small hat, he's a J. He's an Ashkenaz. He said the enemy that soweth them is the devil. The physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan. The harvest is the end of the world. Revelation 14 talks about a harvest too. The same harvest. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. It says, and therefore the tares are gathered and burnt in the fire, so shall it be in the end of the world. Or the end of this world. Now that word for world is eon, meaning a rulership. It said the Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend, and them which do iniquity. So you wicked Jakes, you're just going to be burnt up with your buddy Esau and the other nations. And shall cast him into a furnace of fire. That's not going to literally happen. You got idiots in Israel. They'll read the scripture. See, hell is an actual furnace that they're going to burn. There's wood in there, and they're going to take a pitchfork and they're going to throw you in the fire. No, it's parabolic talk, dumbasses. You got to be a real idiot. And being an Israelite, you got to be a low-level Israelite to teach that there's an actual place called hell where your soul burns in forever. That's real idiotic and stupid. And you're just trying to come off like you deep. There ain't nothing deep about you. It says, and shall cast them into a furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Now, what is this talking about? What is this talking about? It's talking about Babylon being set on fire, and the people are in the fire. Praise ye the Lord in the fires. I believe that's Revelation 15 and 1 and 2 or 16, if I'm not mistaken. So when this place is on fire, we're going to be looking down. We're going to be praising the Most High. Matter of fact, let me go see if I can get that. I believe it's Revelation 15, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, let me try this. Let me do it this way. Praise the Lord in the fires. Okay. I think I found it. Isaiah 24 and 15. See, and we're going to be beamed up in the ships, and that's Revelation 15 and 16, and we're going to be singing songs, praising the Most High. It says, wherefore glorify ye Yahweh in the fires, even the name of Yahweh, the Most High, of Yasha'Allah, in the isles of the sea. The city of confusion is broken down. That's Babylon. By the way, this word here for confusion, it doesn't equate to the word Babal. It's a different word. But Babel is confusion. Every horse is shut up that no man may come in. There is a crying for wine in the streets. Wine also represents, knowledge, wisdom, so you can understand. So people are going to be looking for answers. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. What land? Land singular. Babylon the Great. And the city is left desolation, desert, which is Babylon the Great. It's going to be utterly destroyed. And the gate is smitten with destruction. The gate is their defense systems. All those satellites are going to be knocked out of space. It says, when thus it shall be in the midst of the land among the people, there shall be as the shaking of an olive tree, and as the gleaning grapes when the vintage is done. They shall lift up their voice, that's the elect. They shall sing, Revelation 15, the first two verses, Revelation 16, the first two verses, mainly Revelation 15. They shall sing for the majesty of Yahweh. They shall cry aloud from the sea. Outer space is also known as the sea. Wherefore glorify ye Yahweh in the fires. What fire? We're going to be looking Psalms 91. We're going to be looking down at the fires. We're going to be standing on a sea of glass. Even the name of Yahweh, the Most High of Yasha'Allah, and the isles and the sea. From the uttermost part of the earth have we heard songs. Oh, what is it? What does it mean by the uttermost part of the earth? The West, America, the uttermost part of the earth is talking. Everything starts from the east, right? Isaiah was in the east. When he says the uttermost part of the earth, that's the West. That's America. It said, from the uttermost part of the earth have we heard songs. That lines up with Revelation chapter 14. So, in not so many words, we shall sing a song. We the only ones that understand. The elect is the only ones that understand this song. Even glory to the righteous. But I said, my leanest, woe unto me. The treacherous dealers have dealt treacherously. Yeah, the treacherous dealers have dealt very treacherously. The treacherous ones are the Edomites. It said, from the utmost part of the earth have we heard songs. What does it mean by the utmost part of the earth? So when you go all around the world trying to try to wake up all the Israelites, Most High never said to do that. You're doing what you want to do. The word is kanap. Wing, extremity, edge, winged, a border, corner, shirt, wing, extremity, skirt, corner of garment. Like you have the west wing and you have the east wing, right? Even in the White House, you got the west wing and the east wing. It means the end of something. So when it says the uttermost part of the earth, is talking about Babylon the Great. Let me do this. The focus is here in America. That's where the majority of the elect is going to come out. You're going to have elect in other countries, but the majority of the elect comes out of America. Mark 13:27, and then shall he send his angels and shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from the uttermost part of earth to the uttermost part of heaven. If you're here in the Middle East getting these Matthew, the Lord, Mark, the disciples, the apostles, they were all in the Middle East. So the uttermost part of earth is what? It's talking about over here in America. Here it is. This is my favorite precept. 4 places you shall prophesy: Jerusalem, Judea, Yahweh, and Samaria, and unto the uttermost part of the earth. Let's look that up. You know, I always go into this to try to get it through your thick head, your hammer head, that you're not supposed to go all around the world. There's supposed to be, I always say this, there should be 1,000,001 camps. That's just a number. There should be 1,000,001 camps in the States. A lot of you guys tried it in the beginning and you fell off. For the most part. Eschatos.
Strong's G 2078. Eschatos. Eschatos.
Eschatos. That's where you get the word eschatology, meaning the end of something, like meaning in time, the end times. But it also means the end of something. If you start from the Middle East, you go to the other end of the earth, it's the Americas, Canada, U.S., Central and South America. Last in time or place, last in time or place. So anyway, give you a couple more precepts. Let's see what Isaiah 64:12. I'll give you a couple more and then I'm going to close. I know I went long. So we know that definitely this place is going to be taken out by fire. Wilt thou refrain thyself for these things, O Yahweh? Wilt thou hold thy peace and afflict us very sore? Wait a minute. I should have started at the 11th verse. Yeah, our temples were destroyed by fire. Second Ezra 13:1. You know what that's talking about when Yahweh comes back in the ship so big it looked like a mountain. Ezra thought it was a mountain. Let's look at Psalms 106:18. Comfort one another with these words. Comfort one another with these sayings. So this is a comfort to you that you know that this place is going to go out by fire. And a fire was kindled in their company. The flame burned up the wicked. Oh, I like that one. I like that one. And a fire was kindled in their company. The flame burned up the wicked. And that's the account of, Dayton and Abiram. There was another one. Dayton, Korah, Dayton, and Abiram. Now, I remember when they kicked us out of the school, they said that we were Korah, Dayton, and Abiram. That old dirty bastard, what's his name? A mafia. That old dirty bastard. Yeah, he's dead. He's in the spiritual realm. And all them guys that was back there when we got kicked out, every last one of them, except for the bishop. Who else was in there that's still around? Well, he was one of the guys, but I believe everybody that was in that classroom, they all fell out. It was packed. It was packed. The only one that's still teaching Israel that was a part of that demonic gathering is Bishop Nathaniel. And they were saying that we were wicked as hell for teaching. We were wicked for teaching that Cornelius was an Israelite. That was wickedness, which they all teach it now. Okay, I'm going to give you one more, and then I'm going to close. And there's many other precepts that go into how this place is going to be taken out by fire. It said, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. That's the missiles. Now we're going to jump down to 18 and 19 verse. Comfort one another with these sayings. Comfort one another with these words. The things are written aforetime are for our learning, that through patience and comfort of the scriptures may have hope. Was that Romans 15? I believe that's the 4th or the 5th verse. It says, for wickedness burneth as a fire, it shall devour the briars and thorns, and shall kindle in the thickets of the forest, and they shall mount up like the lifting up of smoke. They're going to be smoked. Through the wrath of Yahweh of hosts is the land darkened. And the people shall be as the fuel of the fire. No man shall spare his brother. No man shall spare his brother. That's 2nd Ezra 15 and 2nd Ezra 16. And the Most High compared in Isaiah 34, the Most High compared these people as being goats and bullocks. That's in Isaiah 34. So this goes hand in hand with Isaiah chapter 34. Did I put that on the list? See, that's not even, there's a lot of scriptures on how this place is going to be taken out by fire. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom, on to the next one. Shalom.